Alright, this is a quick video on how I adapted a vintage Lionel roof walker trestle to Lionel's O-Gauge Fast-Trak. As those of you know, Fast-Trak is a little higher off the surface than the old vintage Lionel Fast-Traks, which didn't have all this plastic on it, so it's a little higher. So I had to adapt this. You just couldn't put this underneath and it would be too low. I also added to this piece of track, let's get this out of here, piece of brass. This is for those cars that have the drop down figures. They usually come with a piece of metal that's kind of spring loaded. I don't like those, they're kind of obvious. This you don't even see too well, and it's just a piece of brass, I'll get in there, that I soldered and then drilled holes through the track, and then you put 5-minute epoxy on there, and you get this all right. You get the height, the length, the width, get it all the way you want it, and then when you get it perfectly bent, of course, the 5-minute epoxy will firm up, and you're good to go. And you always want to round these two, because how this works is, those of you who don't know, some cars have a little figurine on the top that pops out through a hole, and on either side there's these two little couplers that are spring-loaded, and when they get pushed up, the little figure drops down, and when that drops down, the figure pops up. So there's a big lever system in there. So what happens is, if I had a coupler here and it travels, the coupler would hit this little metal rail, the figure would drop down just before it got its head cut off, and then pop up. So it's a cute little thing that they have. There are cars that do that, and so I just made that out of brass. So the trestle was a little more complicated. You couldn't go underneath the track because it would be too low, because these rails are higher off the surface. So what I had to do was, first I had to make 4 lands, L-A-N-D, land, like landing areas. You can see right there. A flat area that I did with a Dremel tool on all 4 places. You can see it like that too. There you go. There you go. You can see where I had to flatten it with a Dremel tool. And then with a hot knife, I cut slots, 4 slots. All around. I'll show that on the bottom. So I cut 4 slots for the trestle to slide into. Once I had that, then I cut 2 more slots, one there and one over here again, for this brace that goes through underneath the track and basically clamps this together, so it's a clamp. And the trestle can touch the outer rails because they're the same potential. The center rails at a different potential, that we call the hot rail, and it has to be isolated. That's why this bumps up a little bit for the old train, but you have to do this in a place where this won't short out underneath the Fast-Trak. So again, there's the lands. You can see that 4 flat areas. You get it just the right height you want, and then you cut 4 slots with a hot knife for those pieces right down in there, like that. Down in there, 4 of those, and that's pretty much it. You screw it together. The screw holds that nice and tight, and I'll turn that back on an angle. That's it. So if you want more information, please comment below. I'll be happy to give you anything I know about it, give you instructions step by step if you want. And please like, subscribe, and share. Thanks.